Before we dive into this one, keep this in mind. As mentioned on the game's store page, this game may potentially trigger seizures for people with photosensitive epilepsy. Feel free to hop out if this pertains to you. You gotta take care of yourself. Besides that, welcome, and let's rock. Post-Void is the type of game you see playing in the background of a TV show. It's bizarre, it's surreal, it grabs a hold of your senses, and it's real, so thank God. The game's a first-person roguelike. The goal is to progress through 11 levels to the Void, a land of peaceful silence, indulging in some mindless violence along the way. One of the game's most eye-catching parts that sold me was the look. The game's characters look like they're from Ralph Steadman's work on Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Greatly exaggerated and monstrous. And I love that book, so this was a match made in the Void. Each level has different colors. The further you go down, the darker it gets. To describe the feeling of playing Post-Void is going to be tricky, but I'll try my best to convey it. It's kind of like... Oh! Let me try that with words. Control-wise, it's pretty understandable. You move around and shoot enemies. You gotta slide to dodge enemy bullets or get a small burst of speed, and you can jump to ascend further into the later levels. In your character's hands, you have a self-explanatory weapon and an idol. This tracks the amount of health you have. It leaks fluid, so you want to get to the end of the level ASAP. Much like other games, getting hit will drain your fluid faster. But if you kill enemies, you get some back. And that simple concept is what makes this game really fun to play. You don't have any iron sights to look down. This view is the best you get, and wait till those later levels, they'll feel like sensory overload the video game. The crosshairs are really accurate, so as long as you line up, chances are you're gonna hit what you're hoping for. When you complete a level, you'll have 3 options for upgrades. This could be augmenting your weapon to reload faster, bouncing bullets, changing the pistol for something else, from the shotgun, Uzi, even a knife, which is insanely good if you know what you're doing. The options you have are going to be random, so you can't rely on the same strategy every time, but the pool of choices is small enough that you'll eventually get what you're hoping for if you hang in there. And with that said, Post-Void can be brutal. Get comfortable with your mortality and shake hands with it, because it will be visiting quite a bit. This is a game that will depend heavily on your determination to beat it rather than leveling up. When you die, there are no passive upgrades or XP you receive, just a total score and the option from the menu or restarting. Post-Void doesn't have unlockables that make the runs easier. That's going to be up to you. It can be frustrating when you keep dying, soul-crushing when finally reaching a new level, only for a new enemy type to show up and send you to the grave, or getting butthurt as the game gives you a countdown till death, then getting hit, abruptly jumping to the score screen. Post-Void doesn't get easier. The more you play it, like most things in life, the better you'll get. It's in the heated moments when death transitions like a revolving door. You feel as gross as the enemies look, your neck stretched out viewing the screen, your heart pounding as you get further than before, your fingers spamming the keys as each moment has got you deeply engaged with it is where the game is the most beautiful. All of its pieces grab you and demand your attention. This game is best appreciated in short bursts, when the adrenaline wears off and crashes you back in front of the screen that shows you how engaging your time was. And at the risk of looking pretentious, it's an experience that is reflected in its story. The game is about pushing through the excess of violence to get to the Void, a sanctuary of peace and serenity that could be comparable to the player's own head seeking the quiet of the mind in a world overflowing with noise and constant distractions. The entire experience of the game is a vehicle for that struggle, of transitioning through all the static, violence, and frustration into a bastion where the world is still. And much like our own experiences, that journey can be punishingly difficult. Ideas and desires bleed through that distract you, resulting in a defeat of your original purpose. But in Post-Void, it's the absurdity of trying again and again that's the focus. In a game that doesn't get easier, but when you embrace the chaos, understanding its mechanics through physical means, as opposed to words, is where the game feels its best. I was able to beat the game in about 3.5 hours, with a complete run that lasted about 5 minutes. That total playtime had me fully invested in its experience, and for a game that cost about $3, that's incredible. If this sounds like something you're into, the Steam link is attached in this video's description if you'd like to check it out. The game is also for Xbox, Nintendo Switch, as well as PS4 and 5. This YouTube channel is called Pollymacho, and thanks for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more cool stuff, drink plenty of water, and I'll see you around.